pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Can I have a roll call, supervisors, please? Supervisor Gantz? Thank you. We do appreciate it. Thank you. Supervisor Kubicki, Gable, and Skalitsky are excused. Now we'll have the recognition of the 2018-2019 Youth and Governance members. Supervisor Decker, do you want to come up here with me, please?
Good evening. Thank you, Chairman Esposito. Tonight, we will be our 12th group of students to participate in Youth and Governance. We've had 176 youth participate in Youth and Governance. The program started in 2007. On behalf of the Kenosha County Board of Supervisors and Kenosha County UW Extension, we would like to recognize the following youth for their outstanding contributions to Kenosha County through participation in the Kenosha County Youth and Governance Program from May 2018 until May 2019. The program continues to have impact in the city of Kenosha and county of Kenosha, as these youth take the leadership skills and experiences they have had into their post-secondary education. Kenosha County can be proud that they were an early adopter of including youth in county government. Other counties across the country want to replicate the success. Thank you to all the parents of the Youth and Governance members. The support you have given is valuable. We will now recognize our Youth and Governance members completing their term. When I call your name, please come forward to receive your certificate from Daniel Esposito, Chairman of the Kenosha County Board, and Erin Decker, Chairwoman of the Planning, Development, and Extension Education Committee. Please hold your applause until all youth are recognized. The Judiciary and Law Committee. Maria Grino, who is absent. Her mentor was Jeff Wambolt. Finance and Administration, for Judiciary and Law, Mackenzie Van Dixhorn. Finance and Administration, Daniel Malichko. And Annika Kat, who is absent. The mentor was Jeff Gantz. Human Services, Chance Sikowski. Isabella Ricker, and the mentor was Gabe Nudo. Joint Services, Jacob Mackey. And Grace Bordeaux. The mentor was Jenny Tonkes. Legislative, Catherine Bagdala. and Elizabeth Van Kamen. Mentor, John Franco. For Public Works, Chaz Miles, who is absent, and Javier Ratana, who is also absent. Mentor, Mike Skalitsky. PDAC, Victoria Desimoni. And Haley Esposito, who is absent, and the mentor was John Poole. A tradition with Youth and Governance is to ask current members who have served to share brief remarks about their experience. Youth and Governance members Chance Sikowski, a senior at Harborside, and Catherine Bagdala, a junior at Indian Trail High School, will share brief remarks. Did you want to speak and speak? I'm sorry. Yep.
That was an amusing start. First, I would like to thank everybody in Kenosha County for making this possible. This is really an amazing experience. Thank you, Vicki LaFleur, for making this possible, and thank you, Supervisor Nudo, for helping me along the way. My want to pursue public service this early was kind of coming from a place of uncertainty and concern about government, especially on the national stage and the world stage, because it seems kind of grim when you're looking at it from the outside. And coming here and speaking with everybody and seeing what actually goes on a local level in government was a really enlightening experience, because everybody here really wants to do the best that they can for their constituents and our county as a whole. I think it's changed my opinion drastically, and I really enjoyed it, so thank you.
Good evening. My name is Kate Bogdala, and I am extremely humbled to be here this evening. The Youth and Governance experience is one of the most impactful ways our community can help make a difference and become the agents for the change our community needs. I have enjoyed every minute of my time in this program, and am very sad that this chapter is coming to an end. But thank you to all of you in this room. This experience has fueled my desire to continue to stay active and involved, and continue to keep Kenosha the great place that it is today. There are several people who I would like to thank tonight. First, I would like to thank County Executive Jim Cruiser and Chairman Daniel Esposito for their leadership and commitment in driving this program and keeping the youth of our community involved in a serious and meaningful way. Second, thank you to my legislative chairman, Supervisor Gabe Nudo. You always made me feel like I was not just some kid sitting in on a meeting, but you treated me with respect and wanted me to know how I would approach a topic and how our generation saw an issue. Lastly, to my county board supervisor, John Franco, thank you for always being there for me during our meetings and mentoring me through everything and some tough topics our committee tackled this past year. To my fellow youth and governance colleagues, my advice for all of you is don't let this be the end of your commitment to our community, but rather just the beginning. While many of us will be graduating and pursuing our dreams, always remember Kenosha County is our home, and as such will always be in some need of some maintenance. But what I take most from this program is the foundation of our strong community. We have strong leaders, strong programs, and yes, we have strong opinions. But we always come together to keep Kenosha moving forward. I also want to thank my parents for instilling in both my brother and I the desire to give back to our community. I have watched both of you work tirelessly on behalf of Kenosha and always keeping the interests of Kenosha first. My dad always taught me a phrase that I've never forgotten, and I say it to my fellow colleagues tonight. There's no limit to what a man or a woman can do, so as long as they don't mind who gets the credit. One thing I've learned from this experience is that good ideas can come from anyone. Yes, they get kicked around, changed, and sometimes even voted down, but you can't let that stop you from pursuing what you feel is morally just and right. Several years ago, when I went first door knocking with my dad in his district, I asked him, why do we do this in the cold and the snow? And he said, because we have been blessed in our lives, and it's our responsibility to help the people. Our generation who grew up after 9/11 must recognize as we approach the next chapter in our lives, we have a tremendous responsibility, not just to ourselves, but to the community that has given us so much opportunity. We must always be willing to fight for it and the things we believe in. So let's put our phones down, roll up our sleeves, and fight for what we believe in. President John F. Kennedy said in his inaugural address, "Let the word go forth from this time and place, that the torch has been passed to a new generation of Americans born in this country." Let tonight be the symbolic passing of the torch to all of us who have been given this amazing experience in the Youth and Governance program. We love this community and will be there for it as all of you have been there for us. Thank you.
Join me in thanking. Join me in thanking these members for their service to Kenosha County one more time, please. Thank you, and you may be seated. You may be seated. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now we will have the appointment of the 2019-2020 Youth and Governance members. Supervisor Decker.
As in the past years, there continues to be tremendous interest in the Kenosha County Youth and Governance Program. We have received 85 nominations representing youth from 6 high schools throughout Kenosha County. From these nominations, 18 youth submitted applications. The Planning, Development, and Extension Education Committee interviewed 18 youth to recommend 14 names to Chairman Esposito. Thank you to the members of the PDAC committee for their work. PDAC Chairperson Aaron Decker, Supervisor Skalitsky, Supervisor Nordigan, Supervisor Rodriguez, and Supervisor Poole, and also Legislative Committee Chair Nudo. We will now appoint the 2019-20 Youth and Governance members to the Kenosha County Board committees. As I call the names of youth serving on each committee, I will ask the Youth and Governance mentor for that committee to please stand. Each youth will state their name, high school, grade, and the name of their county board supervisors. Youth will receive an official Kenosha County pin from Daniel Esposito, the chairman of the Kenosha County Board, and Supervisor Aaron Decker, chair of the Planning, Development, Extension Education Committee. Please hold your applause until all youth are recognized. Parents, it is okay to take photos. Finance and Administration mentor Jeff Gentz.
I'm Olivia Valentine. I go to Tremper High School. I'm in 11th grade, and my supervisor is Monica U.S.
Hello, I'm Martin Blagoyev. I'm in 10th grade. I go to Lakeview Technology Academy. My supervisor is John Franco.
Hi.
Human Services mentor Gabe Nudo.
Hi, my name is Kiara Henley. I go to Lakeview Technology Academy. I'm a sophomore, and my supervisor is Edward Kubecki.
Hi, I'm Sydney Bolliard. I attend Shoreland Lutheran High School. I'm a sophomore, and my supervisor is John O'Day.
Joint Services Mentor Jenny Tonkies.
Hello, my name is Gabrielle Wellman. I attend Tremper High School. I'm in 10th grade, and my supervisor is Zachary Rodriguez.
Hello, my name is Tyler Andrews. I attend Westosha Central High School. I'm in 11th grade, and my supervisor is Michael Sklitsky.
Judiciary and Law Mentor Zach Rodriguez.
Hello, my name is Millie Matichich. I go to Tremper High School. I'm in 10th grade, and my supervisor is Jeff Wombold.
Hello, my name is Charlotte Martin. I go to Tremper High School. I'm in 11th grade, and my supervisor is Terry Rose.
Legislative Mentor John Franco.
I'm Andrew Hernkar. I go to Westosha Central High School. I'm in 11th grade, and my supervisor is Skolitsky.
Hi, my name is Victoria Desimoni. I also attend Westosha Central High School. I'm in 11th grade, and my supervisor is Supervisor Skolitsky.
Planning, Development, and Extension Education Mentor Mike Skolitsky.
My name is Seth Rosen. I attend Kenosha Christian Life. I'm in 11th grade, and my supervisor is Zachary Rodriguez.
Casey Cowan is absent on tonight. Public Works and Facilities Mentor Mark Nordigan.
Hi, I'm Jackson Wilk. I attend Lakeview Technology Academy. I'm in 11th grade, and my supervisor is Terry Rose.
Hi, my name is Priscilla Scatia. I go to Westosha Central High School. I am a junior, 11th grade, and my supervisor is John Franco.
At this time, we'll take a pause for a minute for pictures. Parents, please feel free to take pictures. We look forward to the contributions of these youth. A reminder to you, you get out of this experience what you put in it. Make it a great year. Join me in congratulating these outstanding Kenosha County 2019-20 Youth and Governance members. Lastly, we acknowledge you, the Kenosha County Board, for your continued support of youth and governance. Thank you for providing this amazing leadership opportunity for our young people. Thank you. You may be seated.
Thank you. I'd like to thank all the youth and welcome them to a wonderful year that they will experience, and we look forward to getting to work with them. Moving on, we have appointment and confirmation of Supervisor District 7. Following the procedure outlined in ordinance, the notice calling for applications for the appointment to represent District 7 was published in the Kenosha News. for the required time period. The only candidate who applied was Daniel Gashke, who currently is serving as that supervisor for that district. I believe that Supervisor Gashke has been a valuable addition to our county board and commend him on his desire to continue serving. I am hereby reappointing Daniel Gashke to the 7th District Supervisor. Pursuant to our ordinance, he shall serve until his successor is elected at a nonpartisan spring election next year. Do I have a motion to confirm his appointment?
So moved. Second.
I have a motion by Supervisor Rodriguez, a second by Supervisor Decker. All those in favor of the appointment of Supervisor Gashke, say aye.
Aye.
Appointment is unanimous. Welcome back. It's like you never left. Oath of office, please.
I,
Daniel Gashke,
having been duly elected to office of the County Board Supervisor, District 7,
having been duly appointed to the office of Supervisor for District 7,
but have not yet entered upon the duties thereof,
but have not yet entered upon the duties thereof,
swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Wisconsin,
the Constitution of the State of Wisconsin,
and will faithfully discharge the duties of said office to the best of your ability.
and will faithfully discharge the duties of said office to the best of my abilities.
Congratulations.
Moving on, we have citizens' comments. Any citizens wishing to speak, you have 5 minutes. Please step to the podium and state your name and address for the record. Citizen comments. Any citizen comments? Seeing none, citizens' comments are closed. Supervisor reports. Supervisor Decker, you have the floor.
Thank you. The Planning and Development and Extension Education Committee held a public hearing on May 8th regarding applications for a conditional use permit for Clemstein III to allow an event barn and a bed and breakfast in the town of Wheatland and a certified survey map to create a 5.3 acre parcel that corresponds with the Thielen rezoning request that you'll see on the agenda tonight. These items do not come before the full county board. They get approved in committee and are finalized there. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Supervisor Noodle, you have the floor.
Thank you. The Legislative Committee met last night, and we discussed a couple resolutions, which they were passed unanimously, and they will be coming to the board probably in the next meeting or so.
Thank you very much. Supervisor Mauer, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. On May 14th, I attended the opioid task force here in Kenosha. And just a little bit of information, there were 79 calls for opioid overdoses since, as of May 14th, since the beginning of the year. 40 of these calls were opioids. 9 received Narcan prior to the EMS getting there, so by a family member. And from the period of April 20th to May 19th, so that's a 20-day period, there were 23 opioid overdose calls in Kenosha County, and that included 1 fatality. So I encourage anybody else to attend the next opioid task force meeting.
Thank you. We will have a presentation on that next month, so all the supervisors know. Supervisor Alverman, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I gave my lengthy monthly report at our last meeting. I just have one item tonight I want to mention.
Thank you.
I can go. I can keep going. Boundless Adventures, we've been reporting on that for over a year to you folks, and they are ready this weekend at Bristol Woods County Park. They are going to have a grand opening on the 4th of June that will be open to the public. I believe it's starting at 1 in the afternoon. We're going to have a ribbon cutting. Off the top of my head, I think it's around 4:30. There is a link that's going to be sent to people on the county board, you can actually sign up. But Mr. Arbor told me tonight, they'd asked me about it too, and I declined. He's going to rope up that afternoon, and you can pick a time. And it's, again, going to be open to the public this weekend, and then they'll be open all year. But that ribbon cutting is the 4th. That's a Tuesday, midday. Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor Alverman. Seeing no other supervisor reports are closed. County Clerk.
County Executive Appointments, William Erickson to serve on the Kenosha County Veteran Service Committee.
Refer to Human Services.
James Hawkins to serve on the Civil Service Commission.
Refer to Judiciary, Law, and Finance Administration Committee.
Margaret Wagner Hodge to serve on the Kenosha County Board of Health.
Refer to the Human Services Committee.
James Foster to serve on the Kenosha County Board of Health.
Refer to the Human Services Committee.
Julia Robinson to serve on the Kenosha County Board of Health.
Refer to the Human Services Committee.
Old Business Resolution 1 reading from the Public Works and Facilities and Finance Administration Committees, a resolution to purchase property at 5511 11th Ave. Public Works and Facilities Committee, I. Alverman, Franco, Poole, Skilitsky, Uhas, Nordigan, Gashke. Finance and Administration Committee, I. Rose, Frederick, O'Day, Gens, Kubicki, excused, Gable, and Wambold.
Thank you. Supervisor Alverman, you have the floor.
I move the resolution, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. I have a motion by Supervisor Alverman and a second by Supervisor Rose. Supervisor Alverman.
Thank you. As I've reported over the recent years on properties that we have acquired, we have a practice of trying to plan ahead for this downtown campus. We were very successful in the renovation of the second floor of the public safety building when we had a property to move our joint service vehicle operation to. We've tried to keep an eye on acquisitions that would be desirable for the county. This is one the owner had approached us on. This is in this block, the block that we're sitting in, and it would be the last property that we do not own on this block. A big advantage to Kenosha County for our future growth, whether it be adding office space, whether it be adding parking. It is something that we have strived to do, and this is, again, a big advantage for Kenosha County. I would ask for everyone's approval. The money is in our budget for Civic Center acquisition. There's no budget modification needed. Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor Alverman. We have some discussion. Supervisor Celebre, you have the floor.
Thank you, Your Honor. I would just add that this fine parcel right out our western window here, I think will be a fine addition. It's abutting the safety building and our own parking lot, and it's made an ideal location for a law office for the past 25 years. And for that reason, I'll be abstaining for tonight's vote. Thank you.
Thank you. Let the record show Supervisor Celebre will abstain from the vote. Supervisor Ron Frederick, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. When we discussed this at the committee meeting, if you've recognized that the assessment is quite a bit below the price that we've offered, but I did ask the question, which I have a concern for now, and I was told there weren't any. Are there any relocation costs of any tenants in the building? I understand that there's a renter plus an attorney or two. So I got to have insurance because I don't see it in the resolution. Are there going to be any costs besides the cost of the property to Kenosha County? Okay. And what guarantee do we have that the seller has made arrangements with the tenants?
Okay, Supervisor Frederick, I will defer to Corporation Counsel on this.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, Supervisor Frederick, for the opportunity to address that question briefly. As I indicated at the committee, there was a condition of the sale indicating that the owner would have the responsibility for ensuring that the month-to-month leases that exist currently would terminate prior to our taking possession of the property. Further, the purchase is structured in such a way that legally, we are not required to do any relocation costs.
Yeah, final question. When are the leases up for the tenants?
The leases, as I understand it, are all month-to-month.
As you understand it?
This is what I've been advised by the seller.
Okay, so he's
If you'd like,
guaranteed.
we could ask one of the tenants
So
now.
we're going
if
to
you'd
buy
like.
this under condition that we have no other cost but the cost of the property, because we all know that, Icky Ricky's is an example of a property that we're trying to buy, and we have to find him another location, okay? So that hasn't happened, and the concern I have is there's going to be some costs that are going to come after we give him his $205,000 on a property, quite frankly, that's assessed at about $150,000, but I understand we want the property, so I want a guarantee, and I don't think you're giving me one, that says we're not going to get any costs. I mean, he says he's going to do that. One of the tenants happens to be on this county board, and there's also a tenant that rents there. Now, I know how that works when your government buys a property. You pay relocation costs.
However, and if I can address that, the way the law is written is that a non-owner occupant, so someone who is renting, is not entitled to relocation costs as long as either they are allowed to serve out the term of their lease, which again in this case is month to month, or are allowed to stay for at least 180 days. And the way that the offer is structured is that we're not going to take possession of it until that time has elapsed.
So that all of the tenants will be able to stay there for the next 180 days?
If they choose to, yes.
They choose to.
Yes.
So they got 6 months, in other words. So we
So
take
they have an
possession.
opportunity to find another location, yes.
We take possession of the building, but we don't take control of it for 6 months, is what you're
Correct,
saying?
yes.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Supervisor Frederick. Supervisor Gantz, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So when are we closing on this property? What's the closing date?
We typically don't schedule a closing date until after the board has approved it. So
My concern is with what you just responded to Supervisor Frederick on. When we take possession and when we close can be two different things. So are we going to close and then take possession immediately and the tenants are gone?
No.
Or are we going to close and they're going to have, it's going to be up to the seller to give the notice and get them out because they're on a month-to-month lease?
Yes.
But you also just said that you didn't see the leases. So, I mean, the seller said they were month-to-month. I have a concern with that. I mean, if we close, not that one tenant won't, adhere to what we're doing here, but there might be others who might not leave. What happens, give me a worst-case scenario if this seller can't deliver the property to us, and we've already closed?
We've got a contract. We'll be able to sue for specific performance
Okay.
and have them turn over the property.
So we'll basically have to sue them and go through that process?
Well, I mean, if needs be. I can't imagine that being a scenario.
I imagine every scenario. We don't know what's going to happen. So, I would agree with you, that shouldn't happen here, but if it does, I just want to know what the options are. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor Gantz. I'm going to clear the board. Any more discussion on this resolution? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Resolution passes. We've already duly noted. Thank you.
New business ordinance, one reading. From the Planning, Development, and Extension Education Committee, ordinance regarding Thomas H. and Mary Page Thielen, owner, Timothy K. Grafton, agent, rezoning, Town of Randall. I, Decker, Skalitzky, Poole, Nordigan, excused, Rodriguez.
Thank you. Supervisor Decker, you have the floor.
Move ordinance number 1.
Thank you. I have a motion by Supervisor Decker and a second by Supervisor Skalitzky. Supervisor Decker.
Supervisor Skalitzky's not here.
Oh, Supervisor Poole. I apologize.
Thank you. This property is located on the north side of County Highway HM 116th Street, which is approximately 0.34 miles east of County Highway Z 360th Avenue. The rezoning would allow for the creation of a 5.3 acre lot for construction of a single family residence. The Town of Randall recommended approval of the request.
Thank you. Seeing no discussion on this, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Ordinance passes. County Clerk.
Policy resolution, first reading, 2 required. From the Finance and Administration Committee, a policy resolution to approve the technology use policy. Policy resolution number 2. From the Finance and Administration Committee, a policy resolution to approve the identity and access management policy. Resolution, 1 reading. From the Finance Administration Committee, a resolution 2019 Information Technology Resolution to recognize additional revenue and modify expenditure budgets for services incurred for the use of the fiber infrastructure for the public safety software and NG 911 from Kenosha Joint Services.
Thank you. Supervisor Rose, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of the board. I would move the resolution number 4.
Thank you. I have a motion by Supervisor Rose and a second by Supervisor Ron Frederick. Supervisor Rose.
The resolution before you is about a budget modification requiring a 2/3 vote. It recognizes some new revenue from joint services for the use of the fiber optic, infrastructure for the public safety software used by joint services.
Thank you, Supervisor Rose. There is some discussion. Supervisor Gens, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This is actually joint services costs for our fiber lines that go out to the emergency center out at 45 and 50. So it's a prorated amount on the cost for our fiber network. So, and this was agreed to back in January of this year with joint services. So thank you very much.
Thank you. This is a budget modification, so we need a roll call. We have 2/3 vote. If you're in favor, vote aye. If you're against, vote nay. Supervisor O'Day. Resolution passes unanimously. Moving on.
Resolution 5, from the Finance and Administration Committee, a resolution authorizing transfer of 2 parcels taken by tax deed to the City of Kenosha and forgiveness of taxes and assessments.
Supervisor Rose, you have, go ahead.
Thank you. I would move the resolution.
Excuse me, let her read the record, please.
I, Rose, Ron Frederick, Gens, O'Day, Kubicki. Excused, Gable, Wamble.
Thank you. Supervisor Rose.
All right, thank you. I moved the resolution. Was there a second, Mr. Chair?
Yeah, there's a motion by Supervisor Rose, second by Supervisor Gens. Supervisor Rose.
All right, thank you. This is a traditional type of resolution to come before the board where tax deeded property to the county is transferred to a municipality, in this case the City of Kenosha, for redevelopment purposes. It's for a public purpose, and therefore the forgiveness of taxes is part of it. This particular piece of property is very small outlots at 69th Street in what is called the River Crossing subdivision. The city has requested this, the committee has approved of it, and we're asking for your support of it.
Thank you, Supervisor Rose. We do have some discussion. Supervisor Rodriguez, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Through the chair to whoever can answer this, what does the city plan on doing with the property?
Supervisor Rose, do you have
These are very small lots, and I believe that it's just to maintain it so that we don't have to maintain it. I don't think there's anything other than aesthetics for the particular area.
Okay, thank you.
No one else was interested in purchasing it.
Supervisor Rodriguez, you good with that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Good, thank you.
Thank you. Supervisor Gens?
There was detention, water retention there, but I don't.
Potentially and/or green space.
Yeah, okay.
So,
thank you.
Yep. Seeing no other discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Resolution passes.
Resolution 6 from the Finance and Administration Committee, a resolution authorizing transfer of 2 parcels taken by tax deed to the Village of Paddock Lake and forgiveness of taxes. I, Supervisor Rose, Ron Frederick, Gentz, Kubicki, O'Day, excused, Gable, and Wamble.
Thank you, Supervisor Rose.
I would move the resolution.
Thank you. I have a motion by Supervisor Rose and a second by Supervisor Frederick. Supervisor Rose.
This, again, is a transfer of 2 parcels to the village of Paddock Lake, which has a public purpose for them, and they have requested this transfer. In light of that, we have recommend to you the transfer of property, tax deeded, with the forgiveness of taxes and assessments.
Thank you, Supervisor Rose. Any discussion on this issue? Supervisor Rodriguez, you have the floor.
Through the chair to Supervisor Rose, same question. What do they plan on doing with the property? Or to Supervisor Poole?
Supervisor Poole.
Yes, these parcels are about 2 blocks from my house, and when it rains heavily, they're periodically underwater, so they're basically wetlands.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
You bet. Thank you. Thank you, Supervisor Poole. Seeing no other discussion, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Resolution passes.
Resolution 7 from the Human Services Committee, resolution for the reappointment of John O'Day to the Kenosha County Human Services Board. I, Supervisors Grady, Gable, Berg, Celebrity, Mauer, Nudo, Rodriguez.
Thank you. Supervisor Grady, you have the floor.
Move the resolution.
Thank you. I have a motion by Supervisor Grady and a second by Supervisor Berg. Supervisor Grady.
Thank you. This passed our committee unanimously, and I would expect you to support it this evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor Grady. Seeing no discussion, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Resolution passes.
Resolution 8 from the Finance Administration Committee, a resolution request to approve the appointment of Michael Underhill to the Kenosha County Library System Board. I, Supervisors Rose, Aron Frederick, Gentz, Kubicki, O'Day, excused, Gable, Wamble.
Supervisor Rose, you have the floor.
I would move the resolution.
Thank you. I have a motion by Supervisor Rose and a second by Supervisor Gentz. Supervisor Rose.
The appointment has been reviewed by the committee. We recommend it to you. Mr. Underhill has served on this board and has also served on the library board before, and his attendance is good. And he has continued to show interest in remaining on the library board. We would recommend it to you.
Thank you, Supervisor Rose. Do you have some discussion? Supervisor Nordigan, you have the floor.
Yes, due to my wife working for the community library, I'll be abstaining on this vote.
Thank you, Supervisor Nordigan. Let the record show of abstention. Seeing no other discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? With one abstention. Thank you.
Resolution 9 from the Human Service Committee, resolution for the reappointment of Richard Willoughby to the Kenosha County Human Services Board. I, Supervisors Grady, Gable, Berg, Celebrity, Mauer, Nudo, Rodriguez.
Supervisor Grady, you have the floor.
Move resolution number 9.
Thank you. I have a motion by Supervisor Grady and a second by Supervisor Nudo. Supervisor Grady.
This passed our committee unanimously. Mr. Willoughby will be succeeding himself, and we ask your approval this evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor Grady. Seeing no discussion on this resolution, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Resolution passes.
Resolution 10 from the Public Works Facilities Committee, the appointment of Inspector Thomas Hanchey to the Kenosha County Traffic Safety Committee. I, Supervisors Alverman, Franco, Skilitsky, Uhas, Gashke, Nordigan, and Poole.
Thank you very much. Supervisor Alverman, you have the floor.
I move number 10. Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor Alverman. I have a motion by Supervisor Alverman and a second by Supervisor Franco. Supervisor Alverman.
This is a vacancy created by Captain Michael Robalski leaving the committee due to other commitments. Thomas Hanchey came to our committee meeting, was very willing to serve. This is an important traffic safety commission to have a variety of people, naturally police officers, and someone in the inspector's position is very admirable to have on that committee. We have a variety of people from the community there, including the people in the health industry. So someone that's willing to do it, take the time, and again, serving without pay, I would ask for your approval.
Thank you, Supervisor Alverman. Seeing no discussion on this resolution, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Resolution passes.
Communications, 10, communication from Judiciary and Law Enforcement Committee regarding Resolution 2019 Walmart Community Support Grant Program.
Refer to Judiciary, Law, and Finance Administration Committee.
Approval of the May 7th, 2019 minutes by Supervisor Poole.
Supervisor Poole, you have the floor.
Move to approve minutes for May 7th.
I have a motion by Supervisor Poole, a second by Supervisor Gens. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
I have a motion to adjourn. Motion adjourned by Supervisor Rodriguez, a second by Supervisor Mauer. All those in favor say aye. Aye. We're adjourned. Thank you very much.